What's up, guys? Welcome back to Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho. Thank you so much for watching. And guys, today we are talking about Javian Hawkins, running back out of Louisville. This is another Louisville player that I am talking about. Already did a video on Tutu Atwell, talked about his explosiveness and speed, and we're going to be talking about Javian Hawkins, and we're going to be talking about his explosiveness and speed. Yeah, he's just, it's amazing. It's just ridiculous. That is the sole reason of why you're going to want to draft a Javian Hawkins. Let's put up the graphic right now. We're talking about a guy who is 5'9", 196 pounds, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I think he put on a little bit of weight for that weigh-in. I don't think he even plays at that. I would have guessed like 5'8", 180. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's what I wrote down. I was just trying to guess the weight and see how close I can get. Yeah, I thought he played. He's a smaller guy. So 5'9", 196. I don't think he's gonna be playing at 196. I would just be absolutely shocked. But we'll see. This is a dude who put up over 1,500 yards on the ground in 2019 season, 2020 season. Obviously, a lot of weirdness. Still put up just under 1,000 at 822. Only had 21 receptions in his entire college career, just 4 in that 2019 season where he put up, that 1,500 yards, and 16 in the 2020 season. So kind of weird there. Like, you're not really used to seeing that, especially for like the type of guy he is. But overall, we're talking about a guy who is, he's just an explosive, lightning in the bottle type of guy. Let's get into the skill chart so we can kind of break his game down in a little different way. So I want to do this a little bit differently. We're going to break down the big grades that you see right off the bat first, and then I'm going to get into everything else because I don't want to do this thing where I just repeat myself and say the same thing of what he is over and over and over again. That doesn't really make for an entertaining 10-minute video, and I've noticed I do that too much, so I don't want to do that. So let's get it out of the way now. Short area quickness, acceleration, ability in the open field. All of those things are interconnected because that is what this guy is. This dude is a shot out of a cannon, explosive missile. He's explosive as hell. He's fast as hell. He flies. All right. This is Matt Breida. This is, name a smaller explosive running back in the NFL. That's what he is. Jermichael Hasty from last year is a guy that I really liked coming out of the draft. Very similar, right? I know I'm naming 49ers running backs. Yeah, that's what he fits. He fits that outside zone scheme to a T. I look at the Jets as a team. They're going to be running that same kind of system offensively. And if they decided not to go running back in that first couple rounds, get some of the top names, Javian Hawkins is a perfect supplementary guy that can go in and be that guy. He's going to be a guy that over the next couple years, I do think is going to be fantasy relevant. Now, again, maybe I'm higher on him than I should be. I don't know. We'll see. But this is just a dude who is shot out of the cannon, explosive, and I am a very, very big fan of. All right. So we got that out of the way. We know that. Vision at a 5. And my thing for vision is I did think the Louisville offense helped him out a lot. I thought the holes were made for him. I did think there was a little bit of an issue for me of like, okay, I just need a little bit more patience. Okay, you're running into the back of your defenders or your blockers just a little bit too much. I would have liked to have seen that. He has that, like, he could do the Le'Veon Bell thing where he stops, waits for the gap, and just because he's 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. He really is. So he could do that. I just think he needs to calm down a little bit, relax. We're talking about a guy he's a sophomore right now, right? So he's coming out kind of early. He's a younger dude, which I think is super smart for the type of guy he is. You're 5'9", 196. Go out as early as you can, get into the NFL, and try to get to that second contract before it kind of falls off the wheels, right? Like, that just is what it is. You want to have as much tread on the tires as you can. Hopefully he's valued by NFL teams enough to be drafted high enough to have that value early on, and then maybe get to that second contract. Hopefully, we'll see. Agility at a 6. We're just talking about a guy who has just such quick feet. He's so good at getting out of trouble in the phone booth a little bit. Very explosive type of guy, and can do a lot of things there. So that's a very, very positive grade as well. Pass protection at a 1.5. Yeah, look, listen. Smaller guy just got blown up in pass protection when he was asked to do it. Not a guy that I'm going to ask to protect the quarterback. And yeah, that does kind of hurt his value a little bit because I just don't see him as a pass protector right now. And we'll see if that changes. But at this time, no, I just don't see it. I don't. Power at a 2.8. Yeah, he's not a power runner. He's going to go down at first contact for the most part. I think he has pretty good contact balance. He can bounce off of tacklers if they don't get a good hit on him. And we'll kind of get into that with like breaking tackles and ability in the open field. But if pretty much any player on the defense is able to get 2 hands on him, they're probably going to bring him down, right? right? Pass catching at a 4.2. I mentioned it when I talked about like he only had 21 catches in college, and look, he did kind of cradle the ball in, and the couple catches that I saw cradled the ball in a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think he's a guy who's just so good in space that he's gonna have to work on that. First of all, he's gonna have to get better at adding that to his game, because in the NFL level, you need to be a pass catcher as a running back nowadays, especially for the type of guy he is, your scat back type of running back. You gotta be able to do that. Gotta be able to do that at a high level. So he's gonna have to work on that. But at 4.2, it's something that like I saw potential. I did, and I couldn't put it as a positive grade because it's not a positive grade. I saw potential, but I did also see him like cradling the ball in a little bit too much to where it's like, nah, okay, there's an issue there. I'm not worried about it. I do think that's something he's gonna have to work on. Patience at a 4.1. I mentioned this with vision a little bit. Patience was a little bit of a negative grade for me. I thought, maybe I'm being a little too harsh here, but yeah, in college, his between the tackle running was like a little bit left to be desired for me. I thought he was way better on the outside than he was between the tackles, and it's just too much of like, oh, you're not waiting for your blocks to develop. You're running into your blocker. You're almost like you're too fast for your own good kind of thing. So if you could just throttle it down a little bit when you're getting through those tackles and then explode, so that's what I would like to see a little bit more from him. But again, 4.1, it is a negative grade. It's certainly something that needs to be worked on. I'm not worried about it. I think that's a coaching thing. You can coach that out of him. It'll be fine. Breaking tackles at a 5. I did put a little bit of his ability to make people miss in a phone book into this grade, right? I wanted to give him credit for that. You're right. If guy gets two hands on him, he's going down. It's just is what it is. He's a smaller guy. He's not like this like super stocky build who's just gonna run through people. He's not like a CEH type of guy who like CEH. He was a smaller guy too, but he was built like a bowling ball. So it's like, his contact balance and all these things, like it didn't matter if guys like even got a good hit on him. He could just like, run through it and somehow slip by it, right? That's not what Javian Hawkins is by any means. So at a 5, I kind of, it teeters the line for both sides of the spectrum there. Ability in the open field, I already mentioned, we'll move on. Pad level and balance at 5.1. I never really had an issue with this. I never felt like he got over his knees a little bit. I never felt like he was running too far ahead of himself or anything like that. It was nothing I was ever really worried about. Overall, guys, I do look at Javian Hawkins as a guy who is built for that like outside zone, Kyle Shanahan run game type of scheme. I hope he goes there. I really do. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's so good at just acquiring those type of guys in those later rounds because they come out every year. You can use them for one contract and move on. Again, you hope that he's able to have enough tread on the tires to create a second contract out of that. I always root for that for these smaller guys that do have a limited shelf life in the NFL. The other thing that scares me about this is I have no idea. I have no frame of reference of where Javian Hawkins could go, because he could go undrafted. He really could. I don't know. And I've said it multiple times on this channel that after you get out of like the top 4 for me, it's kind of a crapshoot of what's going to happen at the running back position. I just don't know. And there's a handful of guys that are kind of like this at the running back position. The reason he falls into the top 10 for me is because he has elite traits, right? He has the explosiveness. He has the short area quickness, all of those things. When you have those elite traits, it bumps you up a little bit, right? So that in its core is why he's in this kind of conversation for me, and I'm standing by that. But last year I had guys that were similar, right? I had JJ Taylor out of Arizona as my number 6 running back. I had JaMychal Hasty as like right in that top 10, and last year was a much better running back class in general. So like those guys being there, they were both undrafted guys. I for all intents and purposes missed on both of those guys. I will say both of them were undrafted guys that played on the team that they went to. So JJ Taylor got some snaps for the Patriots, and Hasty, before he got hurt, was the lead back for the 49ers for a week. He literally got hurt the next week though. So I'm not going to sit here and say I missed. I wasn't totally wrong. I saw things that I liked about him, and so did the NFL, and that's why they got on the field. But maybe it was a little bit overhyped. And to be fair, I have like adjusted my grade a little bit to maybe nerf those like scat back speed running backs a little bit to where like I'm not over grading those type of guys. So I am nervous. I have no idea. I have no frame of reference. I'm very, very interested to see where he goes. I think he should go like 5th round, somewhere in that ballpark, and be a part of a running back rotation on a team that will utilize him the right way. But he could go undrafted drafted and just be another one of those guys, like undrafted running backs that gets a chance in the right team and makes some noise. I don't think he will. I do think he'll get drafted, but I also thought J.J. Taylor and Hasty were going to get drafted last year, and I was really wrong on that. So, hey, we'll see what happens. I'm very interested to see. I'm always somebody who's trying to learn from my mistakes and grow as an analyst and in life in general. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm very, very excited. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you think you enjoy more content like this in the draft and NFL type of department. If you're interested in stuff like that, hey, this is a growing channel, and we're just going to keep growing. So get on the journey with us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.